Well, hello again.
Hi.
Just wanted to meet back together. I know we came up with a goal last time that you wanted to use your interactive board more interactively for the students to kind of increase engagement in math.
Right.
So when we left last time, we just said to start maybe using the whiteboard aspect and having them write and come up and answer problems. Have you been
Yeah, we've been doing that,
that?
and they really like it. It gets them more engaged and seems to keep them more focused. They like it.
Nice, nice. Okay. And then I know you came into my room just last week and you saw how I utilize Smart Suite interactively with tablets in our classroom. And it can be a little overwhelming at first. But what was your take on that? What was your perspective on?
Well, I had no idea you could even use devices with Smart, so I was really fascinated by that. Of course, I'm a little intimidated by it, but I think it could be a really good tool. It's cool.
It is very cool. And it's a great way to make sure they're engaged in the lesson. You know right away if they're answering those questions on their device,
Right,
they're
yeah.
engaged. Are you comfortable with Smart as a whole?
Not particularly. It's okay. I mean, I've had some experience with it. But
Okay. Because there's a lot inside Smart, and Smart Suite's kind of like an add-on to Smart. So I think, if we implement a checklist and kind of spell it out step by step of what would be beneficial for your class, I think you would feel that you are comfortable implementing it. It's
Okay.
going to take some time. I'm going to model it for you.
Okay.
I have a test lesson for you, but I think if we do that and I provide you the checklist, then you'll find that you're probably more comfortable.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
And just really get them interacted in some of those interactive in those math lessons.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a good plan.
All right. Well, let me model that.
Okay.
Okay. So this is Smart Suite, and I'm going to get you logged in. Very easy to get logged in. And I want to kind of show you how you can add some of these interactive games and aspects to your lesson. Right now, I just want to model for you what you would feel like as a student with these lessons.
Okay.
So I did a test today just to show you what it kind of feels like as a student.
Okay.
So in a second,
Okay.
you'll see this screen pop up on your screen. So
Right,
this
yeah.
is what students would see for you. And there's different activities. You're familiar with the regular Smart. Some of those same activities are here, except they can see them on their tablet, iPad, whatever device.
That's crazy.
Isn't that so cool? Okay. So this is called Memory Match. I know in third grade, we drill those multiplication facts. And I know after being in the same grade for 8 years, I'm like, okay, I need other ways to engage them in their facts.
Yeah.
So once I press start, you're going to see the same screen on your screen. Do you see that?
No, do I have to push start?
Yes, you press start too.
Sorry.
Okay. And so for now, let's just choose one player. You're just going to play against yourself. So I'm like, boys and girls, we're ready to practice some of our facts.
Oh, it's a jungle.
Yes, it's Jungle Thieves.
That's
It's-
cool.
To me, that's engaging in itself, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you'll see that this pops up on your screen. Is that what you see?
Yep.
For now, since we're modeling, I'm just going to turn the sound off. So I would say something to the effect of, we learned 5 new facts this week. 6 times 9, guys, is 54. 6 times 8 is 48. Something to that effect. These are some random ones. It's not necessarily those exact ones.
Okay.
And I would take a moment and say, okay, we're going to play a matching game. You're going to try to match the equation with the product. And that way, that gives me time to kind of circle around, make sure everyone's engaged in the lesson. It gives them kind of that game aspect. They think they're playing something. And really, they're just drilling those facts. So, all right, boys and girls, go ahead and let's try to match our facts. So you just click any two like a matching game. 6, oh, no, those are both equations. That's not going to match. And you would be doing the same on yours. Oh, I found a match.
The match. Okay.
Okay. And then they just keep going until they found all their matches. 7 times 7. Hopefully in their head they're going 49. Oh, there's a match.
You have them memorized.
72. Up. Well, that was a
Okay.
match. Okay. And then I would give you time. So try to match them on yours.
No.
You might even say, okay, well, do you know 7 times 7? And see, that way, kind of gauge in to see
Okay.
if they know.
Oh wait, 7 times 7. So There's sometimes 7. I think I saw 49 here. Yep.
Yes. Could
Okay.
you see your kids getting into this?
Yes, totally.
Engaged in this?
They probably have better memories than I do.
Oh, totally, me too. And I want to show you a couple things up here. So you can add in a blank slide. So let's say, you know, you wanted to add this in. What is multiplication?
Mine is the same as yours.
Yours is the same as
So
mine.
whatever you change to, it's
Exactly. Isn't that? It's very neat because I think it's just a way our kids are motivated by technology.
Sure, yeah.
And there are a ton of ways in here. It's not just games that you can really check for their understanding and check that they understand what's happening in the lesson.
Okay.
So then this one, and granted, these are just tests. Like, we can make these as elaborate or as simplified as we wanted. It depends on your population and what you want. So, for instance, I know we're studying distributive property, and we really want them to understand that distributed is breaking apart the numbers.
Right.
So I might say, okay, I could have had a slide before this that reviewed distributive.
Yeah, okay.
And then say, okay, guys, I want you to match the equation with the distributive property, how you break it apart.
Right.
So I would say, okay, let's get started. I might cycle around the room. You might even see that little Johnny is sitting there totally dumbfounded, no idea what to do. And that's a good time just to reinforce that skill for him while the others are working at their own pace, kind of thing. So at the end, we could do it together. Well, 18 times 3, drag it over. Might not let me drag. All right, so are you feeling a little overwhelmed?
Yeah, a little, yeah.
But do you see
I mean,
how
it's so cool, but
useful this could be?
Yeah.
And it definitely would bring in the interactive aspect to any lesson.
absolutely.
So I'm a little overwhelmed with it at times. There's tons of stuff I don't know about SMART yet that I'm still playing with. So what I did is I set up a little checklist for us
Okay.
of what to do before your lesson, how to create your lesson in SMART Suite, and then kind of like the follow-up.
Okay.
So hopefully this will kind of lessen that overwhelmed feeling for you.
Step by step.
And of course, when there's questions, jot them down because I'm still learning a lot of aspects of Smart Suite, and I would like to explore those questions myself.
Okay.
For the checklist, we already signed you into Smart Suite. That was easy breezy.
Right.
You use your Microsoft Office email and your password. You can save it
Right.
now. Mine automatically pulls up for me now. It just
okay.
recognizes who I am, so that's nice. Of course, before you are ready to make your own lesson and add in any aspect, because I know you teach all subject areas, so you don't have to just utilize this in math, but that's our goal right now, is just go ahead and determine what standard you want to focus on. It might be a plethora of standards or just nailing down one standard. I don't want to blow your mind, but there is a way to upload a lesson you already have or start new. But we're just going to practice starting new first, just
Okay.
utilizing some of the activities that are there. Down the road, if we want to get into uploading lessons that are already made and adding aspects, we can. But
So that's like when I do SMART, I go to that SMART Exchange and I can find things that are already done?
yes, so you
Okay.
are already very familiar with. Yeah, so you could get a pre-made SMART that someone else made and upload it to Smart Suite and then actually tweak it and add your own
Oh,
activities.
okay.
But like I said, we'll get there because there's a lot that's involved here. Okay, so when you're creating the lesson, kind of think of your focus of the lesson. You can have that main white screen that you might have some focus questions for the kids.
Okay.
You don't have to. This could be something that after you've taught the lesson, you pull up really quick just to engage them and get them interacting with what you're teaching.
So the games and stuff, they're like embedded in with a SMART. I mean, like say I'm doing a SMART to teach a lesson.
Right.
One of the pages would be the games.
Right. And
Or
so
whatever
and kind
I
of
want.
think of SMART, like when we're focused on Smart Suite, we're thinking of how we can use our tablets and our iPads for them
Right.
to interact. You can use these same activities as a whole class too. So once you
Right.
learn some of these activities, and I know we've talked about you've used some of them, but you've not necessarily made them yourself.
Right.
So there's different ways you could do this, whole class and with the tablets. I think with our goal being to increase engagement, let's use the
Tablets, right? Yes.
Okay, so I was thinking for your checklist to go ahead and have one interactive aspect. So
Okay.
a game, an activity, but maybe to make your goal 2. Are you comfortable with 2 aspects?
Can we start with just one?
We can just start with 1. I think that's definitely feasible.
Okay.
And just adding 1, and then a couple weeks, maybe adding in 2, and then
Okay.
who knows? By the spring semester, you might be adding 4 or 5. But is there one? I know I've modeled for you twice now. You saw it in my classroom, a couple activities. I showed you some of the test activities. Is there one in particular that comes to mind that you know you want to learn?
I like the memory match.
Okay.
I just like that as a game. It's fun for
Okay.
the kids.
Okay, so I'm going to take this off your checklist, the second interactive aspect, and just let's focus on adding 1 right now. And let me show you up here. When you are at Smart Suite, this is mine. The plus sign is add, obviously.
Right.
So when you come here and you're ready for an activity, remember we talked about assessment. We're not getting to that piece yet.
Okay.
I kind of gave you a big overarching view, and let's narrow it down.
Right.
So activity, memory match. So these are all your activities you can choose from. And this looks very similar to Smart on your desktop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, except this is how you're going to make it interactive. So here's memory match. And let's say, what's something y'all are working on math? I know multiplication facts.
Yeah, multiplication facts,
Distributive,
distributive property. We're coming up on associative property.
Okay, so let's say you wanted them to match a distributive equation with the product.
Right.
Let's just go there for now, which might be a little hard, but let's give it a shot. So here I can type in distributive, make sure I spell it right. These keyboards are hard to type. Distributive, let's just say problem. And since this is kind of a hard standard and I'm not sure they're totally ready for it, we'll kind of break it down. It's a distributive problem, and then let's match it to the...
Well, you said match it to the product, but could we not just match it to the original problem? Oh, like your guitar pick one was.
Oh, okay. So how
I
they break
think-
it apart.
Right. Because I
So
don't think
maybe,
they're quite ready
are you
for-
thinking like, if we had this, 17, and then let's go back to ABCs. And I prefer to do it on the desktop
Yeah, it's probably easier.
than this, but just to show you. 17 times 5, and you're thinking over here, match it to how they break it apart
Yeah.
and how they distribute it. Oh, I like that.
Because we're still working on that.
Okay, and that's
We're
going to be,
trying to-
that would be hard to do in their head.
Yeah. They
Okay.
have to have a piece of paper to actually come up with the product.
Right, and that kind of takes, I mean, if they're going to have the tablet in
Right.
front of them. Okay, so they should be able to say in their head, this is 10, and then times 5. Okay,
Parentheses plus.
plus 7 times 5. Is that right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking?
Yes, that's exactly
Okay.
what I was thinking.
7 back times 5. Don't you love our interactive boards? Okay, so that one's good. For now, you know, we of course want to add more.
Right.
Let me add some. I'm gonna stop this and add some on the computer real quick.
Okay.
All right, as you can see, I must have clicked flip out instead of the memory match.
Right.
So, no problem. You can always go back and edit. So let's say I don't want to totally lose this. I might edit these and make them the products. And, you know, after they've solved these problems on their seat, then they can match it. They can flip the card over to see if their product's correct.
Right, yeah.
But I want to show you. I guess I don't know how that happened. I guess I clicked flip out.
You know, these interactive boards, you get close to it and it.
Right. All right, let's get the right one this time. As you can see, I'm not perfect either.
Okay, so memory match.
So memory match, this is the one we wanted. Okay, so category or title, and I'm going to type it over here
Okay.
so we can see it. So let's say we have we'll just say the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to say distribute. We'll call it distribute it. And same thing here. 14 times 3. We want to match that to 10 times 3 plus 4 times 3.
Right.
And 17 times 6. We want to match that to 10 times 6 plus 7 times 6.
Yeah.
And here, 15, let's say times 5.
Okay.
And then 10 times 5 plus 5 times 5. All right, for now, I'm just going to finish that. So this should be the right activity. Guess we did flip it last time. And I'm ready to preview.
Okay.
We're just going to do one player again for now. And then you can say, okay, guys, let's match the equation to how we distribute it. And we would have 15 times 5. Think in your head how you would distribute that. You could use this as a whole group lesson as well. Well, those aren't going to match. Oh, that looks like 15. Yep, 10 and 5 is 15 and 5. All right. And then another aspect of your checklist, we had talked about the formative assessment. Do you want to learn how to put in a quiz, a formative assessment within the interactive lesson, or do you want to just focus on the games right now?
I think I'd like to focus on just the interactive aspect of the game right now, and then once I kind of have utilized that a little bit, then add in the quiz.
I think that's, so I'm going to take this off of the checklist.
Okay.
So I think the follow-up when the lesson is finished, if you see you need to tweak it at all, add more, you know, whatever, that way you have this bank of lessons for next year as well.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, I'm happy to come in and help when I can. If there's a little question or concern, you know, to ask me, just jot it down, and then that way we can work on it together. As you see, it's all a learning process for both of us. Can I set up a time to help you create your own activity? Maybe later on this week?
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Let's do it Thursday.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds great.
Would you like me to come model for your students? Now, I know you saw my class using it. You saw me using it, and us pretending we're student teacher. Would you like me to model that for your students, or do you want to try it on your own first? What are you thinking?
Why don't you come model it?
Okay. Well, if we're going to make this Thursday, let's choose a day next week, and we don't have to choose it right now. That way I can come in and we can do one of the matching. I'm going to let you create the matching with me on Thursday.
Okay.
And then I'll let them use it while I'm the instructor.
Right.
Okay.
Perfect.
And you think you're ready to start implementing this
Yeah.
by next week? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
Good.
it doesn't seem that complicated, really, once you know.
Right. And once you've
know
created
it's
them.
there.
Exactly. Okay. Well, I think we have a plan.
Sounds good.
And Thursday we'll sit together and we'll make one for your lesson and
Perfect.
then go from there.
I'm excited. This is fun.
Thank you, Angela.